From the time I left home in Africa in 1998, I have met hundreds, if not thousands, of Africans and African diaspora who are all dreaming of going back home to the motherland to do something significant. I've met them in parts of Southern Africa, in Asia, in Middle East, in America. But there's one of them that has distinguished themselves, not just to go back, but to go back and change and transform the motherland in a positive way. If you're joining for the first time, this is the Story Warrior channel. I want to ask you, draw your chair closer because you're about to hear from a man, a legend, an innovator who is changing the face of Africa, not in words, but with deeds. I'm talking about Mr. Roland Pomundam. Brother Roland, good morning, good evening. I think it's evening where you are. I think it's evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome,
good evening.
Welcome to the Story Warrior channel. This is like a virtual fireside. Imagine we're back in the motherland where you are, sitting around the fireside and roasting our maize, roasting our corn, and chewing corn, and peeling some groundnuts and talking. So I want you to talk not just to our people in the motherland.
Drinking some palm
drinking some palm wine. So I want you to talk to our people, especially those in the diaspora who don't have the courage that you have had to go back home and change the motherland. Tell us which part of the motherland, which part of Africa are you joining in from today?
I'm in Cameroon at the moment.
Cameroon, yes. Which of the 10 provinces or which of the 10 regions, if you don't mind?
No, I'm in Douala. I'm in the littoral.
Okay. How's the weather in the littoral? I know weather in the littoral is often very crazy. Tell us about it.
It's been raining for about 1 month continuously.
Oh my goodness. 1 month of rains. That is really good for the crops. But we're not talking about the crops yet. Let us talk about how we reconnected. Somewhere around 2015, a Singaporean connection of mine, who back then was a TED fellow, he said to me, can you nominate some distinguished Africans who can be on the TED Central stage in Arusha, Tanzania, because TED was looking for amazing Africans who are doing incredible things. And I said, I don't know more than 3 of them. I got just 1 or 2 or 3, and I submitted your name. I don't know what came up with that, but at the time you had just founded Greenhouse Ventures, and it was a big project that you moved from America back to the motherland to do some great things with Greenhouse Ventures. Can you introduce Greenhouse Ventures before we start to dive into so many things that you're doing?
Thank you. Thank you. First of all, it feels like it was yesterday.
Absolutely.
It feels like it was yesterday.
Almost
and that's the amazing thing about life. And I tell people that time goes by so fast.
Yes.
If you think about it, this is close to 9 to 10 years.
Yes.
That we've exchanged. You and I haven't met, but we talk as though we were actually never. and that's the most that's actually a very beautiful thing, because it actually one of the things I will talk to here, because the essence of time. Most people don't understand that. We think that time is so elongated, but time is so shrunk. And no matter how you make plans, that time would always come to be.
Yes.
And that is the story of Greenhouse Ventures.
Wow.
Many years ago, I would say, the story of Greenhouse Ventures didn't start in 2013 when I moved back. It was more or less in 2006. It was 2006. I had an awakening. Let me put it that way. Yes. And right at that point, I moved to the US in 2003.
Okay.
So by 2006, I made a decision that I wanted to go back home. That I would not want to stay in America.
Yes.
I would not want to live in America. I would not want to raise my family in America.
Yes.
I would want to go home. Home, Africa. Sometimes when we say home, it's not necessarily Cameroon, because I have a decolonized mindset.
Thank you.
America is 50 countries in one. Europe is many countries in one, Asia,
Yep.
many countries in one. You only have Africa, they have 54 countries.
Yes.
You know, and then they want to tell that every country is different. No, we're all one.
Thank you.
Once you first of all make your mind that you're moving to Africa, wherever it is in Africa, be it in Mauritius, in Cape Verde, or wherever, my brother, you're home. So my idea was that I wanted to make sure that by any means I will end up at home.
Wow.
And that was where my journey started. And this was because, you know, when I got to the US, it was a sweet, bitter realization. You know, but you know, when we live from here, we're young, we are ambitious, we're eager, we are excited. You want to go there, you expect to see things. Then when you get there, there's that crude awakening that wakes you like, oh, this is America. America is not so different, you know. There are people who are poor, there are people who are miserable. Then the worst of it is that you meet those people that you've only been watching in pictures. You know, back then, I mean, you go to someone's house, they give you a photo album. You know, 90% is pictures from abroad, and then when you meet those people now face to face in America, you realize that there's nothing different with this man. So what was it about? And that realization hits all of us. It doesn't matter if you came from the presidency or the minister or from the village. Once you get to a country like America, everyone is the same. The realization is the same, no matter how you look at it. And it really hit me very hard. It hit me very hard because, of course, while in Cameroon, I've had families who are abroad, and I remember you would even just go to a phone booth, pay like 5,000 just to make a call to beg someone to send you 10,000 francs. You understand?
Yes, sir.
And then when you get to America now, the tables turn on you, and you now have to be that person. And you start to tell yourself, wow, this is it. This is it. The difference is that most people don't acknowledge it. You know, they don't accept it. I accepted it way long, like 2006, 3 years in America. I already accepted that, you know what? I don't think I can make it here.
It doesn't add up.
Yes. So right from there, my idea was that I would want to move back home. So now the question was, what do you go back home to do? You know, I don't come from a family where I can think that moving back home, I would be showered with roses and everything to go back. I never depended on maybe thinking to come and work for government or expect any handouts from any person. My idea was that I wanted to come back home and establish myself. Of course, there was the thought of, okay, what do you do? Most people, before they leave America, they've raised funds, they've done those things. But I realized that the more you stay, you know, I've always described America like sinking sand. You know, it's sinking sand. Some people don't like when I talk these realities, but believe me, it is best to accept them and live with them so you don't get surprised. Because most of us in America, we get surprised after about 20, 30 years in America, and then we're like, oh my God, I should have thought about this. So for me at that point was like, what can I go back and do? At the time I had started a track in studying pharmacy, and okay, you know, I would go back home, you know, the idea is to have a pharmacy and up and down and do that. But then the more I started thinking about it, I'm like, well, to get a pharmacy, you have to raise money. You need to have some permits. You need to have this, you need to have that. And I'm like, how can I look for a path that is less frequented, that is less, you know, abused, that is less congested, and all of that, where I can actually create my own rules and regulations. That was it, you know. Like they say, you know, don't look for the path that everyone is on. Create your own path.
Yes, sir.
That was it.
Wow. Let me. I wanted to blast off this our home. Okay, it's not coming through, but I think I need to make sure that it works well, because this is it's a milestone moment, bro. So you are not looking for a rosy path. You're looking for a path where you can go and cut your own path and make a road for others to follow. It was easy to say, okay, because I'm in pharmacy school, I can go back and set a pharmacy, but no, I want to go the path where there's no route, there's nothing, there's no blueprint. I want to leave something new. So is that how you started to come up with Greenhouse Ventures? Take us back to that moment.
That's where I'm getting to with you. So you see, I wanted a path that is very difficult. I don't, it might sound odd to say that, but I wanted the most difficult path. Yes. Because what I wanted to do was, I mean, the thing is that when I finished high school, I ventured into doing business. At the time, I was doing mobile phone repairs. I have always been a very ambitious guy.
Yeah.
And then I also started selling medications. We used to buy meds and sell to the villages and the hinterlands. So
Yeah.
I've had to be around these conversations of people doing business in Cameroon, and I hear some of those challenges. Taxation, government, this. It doesn't change. Be it you're a contractor, be it a medical doctor, pharmacist, anything that has to do with the everyday things.
Yeah.
So I wanted, I'm someone that I don't like stress. So I wanted something that I don't want to be bothered once I want to do what I want to do.
Okay.
So this is how the thoughts of the industry I wanted to get involved in started coming up. Because again, at one point, I was thinking, well, should I go into law? Should I go into medical? I said, no, medical doctor is too long. I don't have time to stay in school for that long. Do I go into engineering? I'm like, you know what? I would just go into agriculture. And agriculture at the time, everybody's talking agriculture, but nobody's venturing into agriculture.
And it wasn't sexy. It was not sexy at all to even mention agriculture.
Oh, no,
I kid you not. It was not something that people wanted to talk about. But that's why I say you are an absolute visionary. Because for you to have conceived that, it was the field from which we wanted to run away from. And our parents have been tired, exhausted, but they were doing some other form of agriculture that was not what you had in your mind. So I am still curious to dig a little bit deeper. I know I'm listening to say, okay, got to a point where you said agriculture. Okay, you got to agriculture. That's the grain. That's something in hand. Then how did you want it to manifest it? How do you want to change it?
So this is what happened. When I was doing pharmacy, I learned a lot about malaria. I think I had a particular focus on malaria, and in my studies of that, I realized that a lot of things about that was related to agriculture, the ecosystem of agriculture, the food, and that population as well. Then I realized that there is the population that they talk of, the agriculture population. That is the largest population in the country, that has the biggest challenges, and then the least assistance. You understand? Everybody talks agriculture. But then when you hear that USAID has sent money for farmers in Cameroon, you never find the USAID officer with the farmers. They are with some minister, some director, somebody. That money never trickles down. So I understood that the only approach that we could be using now is a bottom-up approach. Every other thing in the country uses a trickle-down, top-down.
Yes.
Understand?
And
those things don't work.
And it fails. Thank you.
They fail. So my challenge now was, okay, I want to come up with something that, my brother, it was the most difficult decision, because I knew that it would take so much time. Now, am I going to live long to see that? You never know what can happen.
Yeah.
And I knew that 10 years was the least amount of time that this would take for me to even start, eating bread from what I do.
Yes.
Is it feasible? Can I convince the people around me to believe in this? Is it really, really possible? Yes. There were a lot of things that happened. And one point, I think I shared that story one time on my Facebook page, that I went through a serious accident that got me into a coma. And when I woke up from that coma, I'm like, you know what? I'd already been dead. So if I have a second chance to live, then I might as well just do something that is worth living for.
Yes.
You understand? So I'm like, you never know when this would happen. So might as well just do it, so that when it happens, at least you try doing it or you did it.
You can be satisfied that you did something special. Yes.
That was it. And I learned a lot about legacy. It got me to start learning a lot about the Americans, about the legacies in America. And all these things that American legends have left behind. You start to learn about the Rockefellers, the Carnegies, the Fords, all these big names. And you see how far they have come. Look at the Kennedys, the Bush, all these guys, how far they've come, how long they last. You get me? And see how far they are going. But when you come to Cameroon, you realize that all the big names in Cameroon, None of them exist. Only their graves do exist. You don't hear any name again. You don't hear any legacy.
Yes.
You see? So that was how the idea of now I started looking at Greenhouse Ventures not as a company, but more of a legacy.
Okay, really?
Yeah, I had to change it from a company. It is not
that's the power of a sophisticated mind. Like, okay, most people would think about just about today. I want to get some bread, I want to eat, but you were thinking, no, beyond me. When I'm gone,
brother, I will tell you that, you know, when we finished school, me and my mates and I, when we finished school, everybody, most of them, 90% went into nursing, you know, and I, you know, of course, community college, we just want to get out of school, start making money, you know, buy a car.
Yes.
I continued further. And my friends started thinking that, well, maybe there's something wrong with this man. This man, everybody's making money now. You don't want to make money. What is all of this about? You know, and actually it became a mockery because, you know, they felt that I was depressed. They felt that I didn't know what I was doing.
Yes.
They felt that I was losing something.
Whereas you were planning, your legacy.
They felt I was being lazy. I didn't want to work. You know, that wasn't the thing. I'm like, I need to work smart. You know, I don't believe in working for. My mother worked for one company for 32 years. Okay. You know, I've never really believed that working is what makes people really make it. I want to live happy. I want to raise my kids well. I want to be free. I just want to be okay in life.
Yes.
And when you start to think of all these things, then you have to plan.
Yes. So you were planning
well,
your legacy, whereas they were asking you to eat, to work and just for today and what you can eat today, but you're working on your legacy. So when you finally came to that point where like, okay, guys, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be wearing suits and ties in America. I'm going back home. I'll be wearing my boots. I'll be wearing a hat and I'll be going to the farm. And this is where I want to plant my flag. When that moment came, that is when Green Ventures was already, coming to life. You told them. What did they say? What did they say?
Yes. So no, you know, several things happened. I switched school at that time. I dropped out of pharmacy program. Then I did technology development because I realized that Africa was getting into the age of technology.
Yes.
You know, so my thing was anything you want to do in Africa, you have to think of technology. But then I was not looking at AI or high-tech technologies and all of that.
Mechanical? Was it mechanical?
Yes.
What kind of technology engineering were you learning?
Yeah, just mechanical technologies. I think I more or less define them as village technologies.
Okay, which could help you on the farm.
Yes, rural technologies. That was how we call them. So any technology that could help the man in the village. You know, because I realized that, you know, at that time, that was when you had all these NGOs, you had all these big names, people funding here and there. There was poverty, you know, there was always people on the map talking Africa poor. So I'm like, there is a huge market opportunity we call it the bottom pyramid, the bottom 4 billion persons. And I said, that's where I wanted to base my business. I didn't want to do first class. I want to do economy class.
Yeah.
So that I can sell more tickets and make. That was my whole idea.
Okay, that's interesting.
So I realized that there was a huge population that was not unmet.
Yeah.
And that population, you want to target them. And that was how the ideas of developing technologies came in. So before Greenhouse Ventures ever came to be, my first company was actually called Youth Action for Rural Africa.
Wow, Youth Action for Rural Africa. I never heard that one. So did you eventually embody that into Greenhouse Ventures, or how did it
I'm getting to it. So that was the first company, and it was it became a 501c3 non-for-profit company.
Wow.
And the idea was that, okay, at the time, that was when they started talking about entrepreneurship everywhere. Entrepreneurship. So I said, okay, I want to have a hand in entrepreneurship in Africa.
Yes.
And we started that company. And the idea was that we were developing computer labs all around Cameroon, you know, training people in entrepreneurship curriculum and blah, 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 all those basic details. So we had programs where I would set up, you know, like I was the first person to introduce, you know, internet in Bamenda. Most people don't even get that. I had the first satellite dish at Upstation that gave internet to Bamenda.
Is that before Douala 1 could get there? Did you precede
way
Douala 1?
before.
Because I know Douala 1.
You're talking 2011. 2010, 2011, there was nobody.
Okay.
You know, we were cutting down trees to have, you know, passage so that we have no interference.
Yeah.
I was streaming connections to Bali, to Bengui, to Bambali. You know, when it rains, we had all those challenges because I was setting up computer labs.
And you
we had
said
a lot
this
of
is
donations.
around 2001. Is that what you mean?
No, 2011.
2011. Okay.
Yes. At that time, I mean, I would walk you through it.
Okay.
So, you know, so we did all the I started looking at things like that. And when I did youth action for rural Africa, we worked now with schools, we brought computers, but I realized that it was not sustainable. Then I went on to do the second company, which is called Jola Venture. Jola Venture now was a company that started developing now rural technologies. So what most people don't understand, Jola Venture is a company that introduced the first solar dehydrators in Cameroon.
Solar dehydrators.
We introduced what you call we introduced what you call green charcoal. So charcoal made out of grass. You know, we introduced what you call corn deshellers to scrap corn. We introduced the granule desheller, you know, several things. Again, all those things, even the cook stove that you see today in Cameroon that has clay inside of it, we were the ones who introduced it. Nobody had it before us. You see, but I realized that even with doing all those things, people still needed to buy them, and people didn't have the money, they didn't have the means. So I said, no, I will not only do technologies. Let me look at what people, my customer group, where do they get money from? So if I can find a way to empower them to make more money, then they can buy my technologies. Because at the time, the technologies that I created, either we were looking for grants or we're looking for subventions, and those things are not sustainable.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
So now, that is how my quest for looking out for a technology that can improve agriculture and put more money in the hands of the farmers came into play.
Wow.
You see, I think what I'm telling you now, you will understand that from then to now, my business model has not changed. I have an all-inclusive business model.
Yes.
I understood very well, and that was the way the Jewish person does business.
Yes.
That, okay, if I want you to buy my products, I will make you have money so that you can buy my products easily.
Yes.
You know, it was just clean and clear. But I have to invest in you to enable you to make money
and
so that you can buy my products.
Yes. So that's how Greenhouse Ventures.
Exactly. So the idea of greenhouses now, when I started looking at it, I did my research, and then I stumbled on this small country called Israel.
Yes.
I said, look at Israel, a small country, but Israel exports food. They are extra food sufficient. It's a desert, my brother.
It's a desert. It's a desert.
How come they produce more food than we here in Cameroon?
Yes.
Israel, you have to dig 1 kilometer underground to get water.
No kidding.
Yet they have more farms, they produce more produce than us.
Oh my goodness. That's
something
crazy.
Didn't make sense.
So did you take a trip to Israel?
I did. I did.
I suspected you did.
Yes. I needed to understand. That's why I told you I had to learn the way the Jewish man does business.
Yes,
the Jewish man is one of the smartest business person.
So you took a trip to Israel to go see how do these guys make their greenhouses and how do they make all.
I wanted to more or less. You know, I learned about the Jewish history way before the creation of Israel. You understand?
Yes.
How it came to be and how they have come to be, small population, everything, what they have now.
Yes.
And it was very interesting to see that model. You know, Israel came up, first of all, as a name. It was not even a country. Yes. It was a name that had a meaning. And that is everything that Greenhouse Ventures has been. So I realized that at the core of Israel's success is the greenhouse technology. Now I started learning about greenhouses.
No kidding. I did not know that part. I thought it was maybe some other innovation. It was greenhouse.
Everywhere in Israel, you find greenhouses everywhere. Everywhere.
Because that ensures there's food. Because if you don't have enough food, You can't feed your population. You can't take care of your people.
Exactly.
You're
So in Israel, it's one greenhouse per house. So every house, it was the same way you have a car, you have a greenhouse.
No
So
kidding.
everyone, so learning how to grow your own basic food. And brother, and these are the things that you and I grew up in the village. Yes. Our grandmothers, our mothers, they had a little farm in the backyard. Everyone has a farm.
Everybody.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now you get it. So, but the thing is that we now have to look at ways where we could grow more food to eat more and to sell. Yes. But our own mindset here in the Cameroon is that we just grow enough to eat,
which is not.
But that was not sustainable. Mm-hmm. That is what it calls subsistence. Mm-hmm. So I had to think of, okay, can we now grow, produce, eat some, and sell some, make money? And that was all. Yeah. So when I got that part, and then I said, you look at countries like Holland, you look at America, my brother, every country on this planet that is food sufficient has greenhouses. Every country. Go to Mexico, go anywhere in the world, there are greenhouses. So why have greenhouses not been adopted in Africa? That became my next question. Now I started looking at it and realized, there are different types of greenhouses. 90% of greenhouses that are in Africa, listen to this very well, 90% of greenhouses in Africa are not owned by Africans and do not supply food to the African market.
Oh my goodness.
So the typical African doesn't know the value of it.
Oh my goodness.
You see what I'm saying? So my idea was that I wanted to ensure that this technology that is changing the world, let's find a way to put it in the hands of people. So my idea was to come up with a low-cost greenhouse for individuals, because most greenhouse farms, they're owned by corporations. I mean, you go to Kenya, someone has like 200 hectares of greenhouses. My brother, that's a Holland company, and they export everything to Holland. You understand?
So they basically they put it there because of the lower cost of labor.
Lower cost of labor, availability of land, weather. My brother, Africa, we have year round you can produce. In Europe, there's winter, they cannot produce during the winter. So why do we even think that there's no way these guys can have more food than us? Are you getting it? You're understanding?
I'm following the trend. So that's when you said I'm gonna cut you.
I said there was something that was missing. And then you realize that these guys, when these big guys in authority, they go to meetings, they know these greenhouses, they talk about greenhouses. Everybody is talking about it. But nobody's trying to do it. Because there is the interest for us to remain poor.
Some people
I have interest to keep you poor so that I continue to get money on your head, because I have to say, oh no, I have to give Mr. Gideon money because he's a poor man in Africa. So they keep, that was a circle.
Which is not that's a colonized mindset, because then you are dependent on him. Instead of you becoming a partner, a collaborator, you are entirely dependent on him. But it is not the decolonized mind, because from what you say, you have to move beyond that. So I can't wait to hear how you said, okay, now I discovered this thing. Not discovered, it's already there, but I'm going to take it and put it in the hands of those who can use it. So I turn the circle upside down, I turn the triangle upside down. And those who are at the top, who are depending on those at the bottom, you flip it upside down, and those at the bottom will be at the top. How did you get to that point where you said, I'm going to empower the local farmers, not the big fat cats at the top?
You see, it was very interesting. Again, that was, you see, from 2006, everything that has been more or less imagination, innovation, creativity, solutions. My idea has been to look for the best solutions. How do we make this possible? I have never believed that it cannot be done. I always believe that it can be done. So when I started coming back to Cameroon, I never stayed in the towns. I stayed in the village, actually all the way in the village, where there was no light.
And I know one thing. You come from a very famous family. You could say, you know what? My family is a well-oiled family. I could live anywhere. I can live in Yaoundé. I can live in Douala. But you chose to go live in a village where sometimes back then maybe there was no electricity and maybe barely a bit of running water. So why did you make those decisions? Is it because you wanted?
Yes. If you want to solve the problems of farmers, you must be a farmer. and not a theoretical farmer. You must be a practical farmer.
Practical farmer.
You must be on the ground.
Okay.
Yes, most people, you find those people who would come and make a show, make pictures, and and then nothing happens. I mean, there are many decisions that I took that have led me onto this path. And I'll tell you, one of those decisions is that I decided that I didn't want to take money from the white man. Just let me put it that way, white man.
Yeah, or from how about from the government?
No, nothing.
You didn't want to take from the white man. You want to take from the government fat cats. You want to depend only on your own ingenuity and your own resources.
I wanted the farmers to pay for it because the farmers' population. When things come to you for free, you don't value it.
Yes. Okay.
So I wanted to create a value system that people can pay for the value, which is why I said when I started doing the technologies, I realized that they couldn't buy it. So they didn't know the value of that technology. But if I make them to have money, then they buy the technology, they will see the value of it.
Wow.
That was my quest. My quest was actually creating a financial system that could work for the bottom pyramid. When I learned about how Mohammed Yunus created microfinance, when I learned about all those things, I was like, all these guys, they have theory. No one has been able to put this into practice.
Yeah.
You get me? Yes. At that time, that was when microcredit, microfinancing was all making noise, but it was all just a scheme to make people poor and poor.
And it was fine. It was all finance. It was not agriculture. So with Greenhouse Ventures, you wanted to take it to the village. Tell me, you took it, if I recall, to Mbengui, our hometown.
That's where it started.
How did Mbengui receive that? Because Mbengui has some rain. Mbengui is also complex. We are talking about decentralized village systems with every village has its own chief. It's not a central authority like some neighboring tribes where you can say like Mancon, if the chief says yes, everybody has to go yes. Or Bafudwe, if everybody says yes, everybody has to go yes. But in Mbengui Meta, they're very decentralized, very federalist type. Like they're thinking for themselves. They know how to take care of themselves. Don't tell me what to do. How did you take that to Mbengui, and in a confederated environment, how did they open up their minds to that? Unfortunately, I've not been there for a while.
The same way they say Cameroon is Africa in miniature, Mbengui is Cameroon in miniature.
I never thought about it. Never thought about it.
Yes, no, to be honest with you, and like you've just said it, Mbengui has all the administrative units. So, and then all the complexities. Even being a son of the soil from there, I had my challenges.
It did not make it any easier for you. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but that actually gave me the reason to do this even better.
Okay.
I started the first farms there. Yeah. My village people never understood anything that I was doing. I remember one time there was actually a council session that was held because I actually requested the mayor at the time to give me land in front of the council in Mbengui so that I can set up a greenhouse, a demonstration greenhouse.
So that everybody can see it. So everyone can see it. Yes. So it's become
my brother, one day they called me at the council to say they summoned me for a meeting. And the whole thing was that I have brought global warming to Mbengui.
Some crazy stuff. I cannot believe that I'm blasting this out of frustration, not out of excitement. Like, really? Did you brought global warming to Mbengui? Like, instead of celebrating that you're bringing something new. This is crazy.
Can you imagine me going to a meeting and you have all councillors and they're telling me that, listen, I have brought global warming to Mbengui. I will make temperatures in Mbengui would go higher. Crops are going to die. Animals are going to die. Everything is going to go wrong. My brother, how do you start to justify that argument?
How do you even make that case? So is that why, for the time, I think you took your work to Rwanda? Is it because our fellow Mbengui people kicked you out and you had to go all the way to Rwanda?
No, I loved it. When that happened, I loved it because, again, when people don't object at that level, it means they don't value it.
Okay, something is not clicking.
I was very happy.
Okay.
You understand? Okay. I was very happy that these are the leaders of the place.
Yeah.
And this was so interesting what I was hearing. But honestly, I never responded. I just laughed. Because where do you start? How do you start to explain to this person that this is it? I just told them this. We are growing crops, and the day we are harvesting, I will make sure that everyone is there to witness what will be harvested from there. Then I will explain to you what we have been doing there this entire time.
And you realize it's not global warming, it's actually global cultivation. So you went about, started to plant your first greenhouses. Which part of the blessed fine line of Bengue? Is it around Abbey area? Is it around area? And then
no, the first greenhouse I actually went to Bomi.
Okay.
Then I went in the bush somewhere. You know, the first prototype was in the bush. Nobody could ever see it because you didn't know. You
wanted to avoid all the politicians and any noise or distractions. Okay.
So it was in the bush somewhere there. You know, a little 7x7 meter greenhouse, and that was the first one. Before the one at the council was the second. And
when was the first one? In which year was the first greenhouse? And what kind of produce did you have from?
2013, and we did just tomatoes.
Okay.
That one I actually built out of bamboo. You know, I bought materials in the US, flew back with them, and built the first one. I actually built it myself.
Obviously, you did not need bamboo. We have plenty of bamboo there. I'm sure you brought something else like.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, I just brought the plastics from the US. Then bamboo, I got it from home. Then did everything. Then like I said, I built it myself. I did the cropping myself, everything. Because I wanted to understand it. You know, I mean, it was. Everyone doubted me. Nobody, even my staff that worked with me, everybody.
2013, the first crops, only tomatoes. I love to hear that. And the fact that it's threatening you around Bengue Council, our homeland, that you were like, this brother is crazy. This son of the soil is crazy. All right. So council fails to give you the permission to build your first house. I mean, the second one around the council, in front of the council, so that everybody can see it. How did you move on from there? And because
that was very good, because when we built that first one, the day we were harvesting, because it was right by the road. We invited everybody.
Oh, you eventually built it?
Yeah, we built it. No, we built it.
Okay.
We built it. We actually grew the crops.
Yes.
And then harvested, because that's what I told them.
Yes.
So the day we were harvesting, they invited all those councillors, all those who were talking about global warming.
Yeah.
Because, you know, people, the funny thing also was that when we're inside the greenhouse working, people will be passing around. First of all, people didn't know that I was from the village. So people will be around me speaking in the dialect. They don't know that I can hear what they are saying.
Oh, no.
So you would have the people asking themselves, then and say, there is this young boy here, he has come with some white people, they don't even know what they're doing, whether they are doing a chicken farm or a pig style, a canteen. No one ever made a good suggestion what we were doing.
And it didn't help that when you get inside, it feels warm. So of course they think that you're bringing global warming. You're actually
see, they were scared. Nobody came close to it. Nobody asked. Nobody. And then the funniest thing was that the kids that I got to work with me, they were like those street kids, you know, like those kids that they call them, you know.
Nobody wants to touch. Nobody wants to talk to them. Yeah.
Yes, you know, just like kids that I just know that these are just delinquent kids. I will call them. They come to work. I pay them daily. Yeah. You know, and nobody just even thought, okay, I can even call this child and ask them what are these guys doing. Nobody. So the day we're harvesting, my brother, people were amazed. They were shocked. They were excited. They were baffled. Because the produce that came out of there, they never believed it. That was the first time some of them even saw what was going on in there.
And they now compare. Now they could compare it to how much time they have to walk, how many kilometers to get to the farm in Tondam or wherever.
My brother, the thing is,
and you have a large-scale farm, but with very little produce. Now you're able to pull out of this small greenhouse a produce that you can see, and they're like, "What is going on here?"
That is not even much of it. What was much intriguing was that the location that we built the greenhouse is on stony ground.
Yes.
If you know the Bengue Council, in front of the Bengue Council, it's all stony.
Yes.
So no one even ever
overlooking the main road, right?
The main road.
Yes.
Exactly. It is all stony. So no one ever saw anything to grow there.
Anything good will come out of that.
So when we harvested from there, I mean, it was like, what is happening? So that was the first thing.
And then was it still only tomatoes, or you started diversifying?
No, there we did cabbages, we did green beans, we did cucumbers, we did green bell peppers, we did tomatoes. So it was a very big greenhouse. It was a 30-meter greenhouse, big one. So we built different crops inside.
That is clearly the proof of concept. Now you're no longer in the tiny little foothill in Bomi. You are now in the central town of Bangui, and you prove the concept. And the mayor, what did the mayor say, and what did you do next? Because that is really important, because people doubt. They're all Thomases all over the world. What did the mayor say?
Well, what I did was that I offered a greenhouse to the mayor herself. I built a greenhouse at the mayor's house, who is also a farmer. So she could also have the greenhouse at her own house and grow the crops. You know, and that was what
talk about that from an economic standpoint. We call it widgetize it. You widgetize it right in their own backyard, so they can see the potato growing. They could see the tomato growing, and they can taste it. They can realize it's the same tomato. This is not some foreign. It's not something foreign. It's not from Ireland. This is the same tomato that you've been dying to buy it from Bond Market. So yes, your concept is proven. Mayor finally say, man. What did she say? I want to know some of the words that she used, because
no. The mayor, she was overly excited. So you know, it was during her tenure. It was something for her to show.
Yes, there you go.
You understand?
There you go.
And my brother, if I tell you how much visitors we had in Bangui for those farms, you will not even imagine.
No kidding.
People came from everywhere, because after we did the one at the mayor. After the one we did at the council, we did at the mayor. Then I started doing donations. I donated to like the Muslim community.
Yes.
I gave to the orphanages.
Yeah.
You know.
So you offer to go and build. You go and build at their own location and show them how to run it, or did you run it for them?
Yeah, no, we showed them. We taught them how. We would do the first production with them, because nobody was ready to buy at that time, so we had to donate them.
Here's a big question for you. How did you collect water? Was it pipe borne? Was it from rain? How did you, because you learned the technology, you knew enough about rural technologies. How did you ensure that they could have their cultivation even when they water their crops, even when there's not plenty of rainfall in Bangui?
Yeah, so I mean, when you have just one greenhouse, you can do the watering manually.
Okay.
You see, because at the time we're doing the small one was 7 square meters. It wasn't big.
Okay.
You could water manually. It was easy. So we started at that point.
Okay.
You know, until when you have to start going to large scale, then you have to start looking for borehole and stream and all of that. So
I want us to get there.
Yes, in the beginning, I couldn't sell the technology. Nobody was ready to buy it, so we had to donate them. You know, so that's where I offered a greenhouse at the Bamenda prison.
Yes.
You know, we're building at the prison yards, at the orphanages, at the communities, at the palaces. You know, that's how I had the chance to visit almost all the palaces in Bangui.
Yes.
You know, all those, because the idea was to put these greenhouses there, you know.
Everywhere.
Everything. Wow. I just wanted to get them out there.
Okay. Help me now to scale this up.
Yes, that's how we started scaling. So people started getting ideas. And then I started inviting schools. Schools would come and visit now. Schools would want them. So we started building at schools. We went to Irad. We started building for Irad. All these guys. That's how
Irad, Ekona, Irad, Yaoundé.
No, Irad in Bamenda. I was more or less, when I was in Bamenda, I stayed in Bamenda for quite some time, because for me it was still we're still in the research stage. And at that time we're still doing the greenhouses in wood. They were all made out of wood. I know Bamenda has very good wood, so it wasn't yet feasible to go out of Bamenda for us.
But at least it's no longer only in Bomi, it's now in Bangui, it's now in Bamenda, and you're beginning to scale it up. So fast forward when they started to accept, because I want our viewers to understand that if you're a man on a mission, you should go out and do it. Don't wait for somebody else to do it, because if you're waiting for someone to do it, you have been stuck in Massachusetts, you have been stuck in Boston, but you are out, you're going to the Ardos, you're going to the village council meetings, you're going to the schools, you're going to Irad. Irad is a research institute in Bamenda area. So by then, there's greater acceptance. How did you scale it up from there? Because I'm sure more people are beginning to come to you. But tell us about a take-off phase when you know that, okay, this idea is about to go somewhere. I want to know that, and I'm sure our viewers want to know that.
No, I think for me, the crisis in Bamenda was a blessing and a curse at the same time.
You mean the Civil War?
When the
Some
crisis
people call
started.
it crisis. From a geopolitical standpoint, I see it's almost like close to a civil war, or it's crisis is people trying to mitigate the fact that this is deadly, people are dying. But how did the civil unrest or civil war, how did it hurt or hurt the cause of Greenhouse Ventures in Northwest, which is the birthplace?
Yes, it hurt the cause of it because it took the legacy out of the Northwest. At the time, we were, once we started from Bengui, I had my first greenhouses in Bamenda at the upstation. Then it just went viral from there. Bambili, Bambui, Santa, all the way to Goketunja, all the way to Fundong. We built all the way to Mua.
Were you training them were you now setting up a school to train them on how to build it, or they came to you to get the understanding of how to build it? Because I know subsequently you started training at University of Chang. So how did that happen? Did they come to you, say, hey, Mr. Fomunda, please show us how to build this, how to network this, how to make sure that it is well served? Or did they come to you, train them, and then they went and built it themselves?
No, I built everything to ensure the quality.
Yes.
I built everything. I had a team. I think what we did was that we worked with them on the first production, and from there we allowed them to carry on. So the first few clients that we started having were enthusiasts, people who were interested in the technology, people who knew something about it.
The early adopters.
Who had some background in agriculture.
Yes.
It started making sense at that time.
I see.
You see?
I see.
Yes. So we started going at that level. We built at the prison yard. We did the orphanages. We did several collaborations. When the crisis really came, it hurt us a lot because I had secured a lot of land in Bamenda. I was actually going to build. We were actually projecting a 10 hectares greenhouse farm in Bamenda. That was when they had just finished a road from Bamenda to Nigeria. At the time, I had my main clients were Nigerians. I had nothing coming to Douala.
So they would come and buy from Bamenda and then ship it to Nigeria?
No, I didn't by car. They just put it. I loaded their cars and they took everything and went with.
Wow. So what were the vegetables that they were buying at that time?
Tomatoes. So the funny thing is that today I do the colored bell peppers, but if I tell you that I used to give colored bell peppers at that time for free,
because people didn't know them.
They didn't know them. So I had the seeds. I would just grow them. Then when you bought so many tomatoes, I will just give you some.
Yeah. And so now,
let me tell you the twist.
Fast forward to
now. So when the crisis hit, I now started coming to Douala. My brother, one day I am in a supermarket in Douala, Super U. I remember so well. I'm in Super U and I see colored bell peppers at the time 13,900. I'm like,
for what?
God Almighty.
For what kind of quantity? For what kind of weightage?
For 1 kilogram.
1 kilogram. 13,900 francs CFA.
Okay. 13,900.
That is insane. That is insane.
And I'm like,
that is like gold. It's like gold.
Like,
isn't that more than gold?
I give out for free. My brother. I'm like, I give this thing out for free. And here I see it at this price. I'm like, there's something that has not been happening.
Insane.
Because at the time now I was thinking, okay, how do I transition from Bamenda to here to Douala to Yaoundé and all these places?
There you have the population.
I said, well, like the Asians say, in every crisis there is an opportunity.
Yep.
So I said, well, maybe
actually
this is the opportunity here.
Way is danger and chi is opportunity. Okay, go ahead.
Exactly. Now you got it. And now the idea was, okay, I have equipment, I have seeds, I have a ready market. I didn't have land. And that was what gave birth to the next thing that we started doing, which is the biggest thing, the franchise.
Okay.
I have the first agricultural franchise in Cameroon. I learned it from Uber. I learned it from Facebook. I learned it from Airbnb, all these guys.
Yes.
And I was like, well,
how did you set that up for agriculture? Because our parents have been subsistence farmers for who knows how long. So now you wanted to take this concept, which was already proven, and then give franchises to people to go do it. Tell us how you
Exactly.
design
So I
methodology and
realized
all
that I realized that there is a gap between the farmer and the marketer. Because when I came to Douala, I tried to sell to supermarkets. I could never get it. I had to go through somebody who went through somebody, and then everybody's asking you for margins, and you realize that you can never break even. So I realized that there was a very big disconnection, which is where you have the idea of the middleman.
Yeah.
I understood now how the middleman affected business. Because in Bamenda, the customers in Nigeria came to my farm directly. I harvested, I filled up their trucks, they left.
Whereas
now
in
I have
Douala,
to be dealing with intermediaries.
Too many middlemen. Okay. No kidding.
And then I realized that, well, the issue of intermediaries is based on people who know somebody. So the reason I would work with you as a middleman is because I know you. So I said, and nobody knows a farmer. There is no farmer that you know. So I wanted to be that farmer that becomes a corporate farmer.
The face of the farmer, the modern face of a modern farmer in Cameroon. Thank you.
Exactly. That's why I told you in the beginning that Israel grew up from just being a brand.
Yes.
You get it? And that's the what I started building. So everything about Greenhouse was more of the brand. Yeah. And I started this brand long time ago. And I'll just go back a little bit to come back to this. So Greenhouse, when I realized that, okay, I have learned about Greenhouse and this is what I want to do. I wanted to make people now to have that name in their head.
Yes.
The first thing that we did in Bengui, I had a restaurant called Greenhouse Restaurant. No, I didn't even start with the restaurant, sorry. I started with a nightclub, Greenhouse nightclub.
Wait, my 18, my 17, my 18, 17,
no,
19?
This was actually in Bali because I was teaching at the university in Bali at the time.
Oh, okay.
So those of us who are Bobans, you know Kanasuk is one of our small local nightclub we had there. I bought Kanasuk and I turned it to a small modern nightclub and I made it Greenhouse nightclub. Let me tell you what happened. The guy who painted the nightclub, actually, I gave him money to buy paints and paint the nightclub, and it was not supposed to be green. To my greatest dismay, the guy went and painted the whole house green. So when I said, but Oga, how you go paint and green? The man said, but now greenhouse now. I said, okay, I'm beginning to get it.
I love that. Yes, it's consistent with your brand.
So I'm like, okay, the guys are beginning to understand. So from the Greenhouse nightclub, I had a Greenhouse cyber cafe. Wow. And then when we did the internet in Upstation Bamenda, let me give you one little trick.
Yes.
I did a hotspot. I provided hotspot from Upstation.
Yes.
So as you came down Santa from Akum, Santa to Akum, as you entered Upstation, your phone, those of us who had smartphones at the time, you'll see Greenhouse, welcome to Greenhouse hotspot.
No kidding.
Okay. Now everybody, of course, it wasn't connecting, but it signaled that there is something Greenhouse.
And people started wondering, what's this Greenhouse all about?
Exactly. Well, what is Greenhouse? Greenhouse Naweti. Then when I moved now to Bengui, I did a Greenhouse restaurant. So all these things Greenhouse, people have been hearing Greenhouse, and that was how we started building that name. You see. So even when we now went to Bamenda, the name started becoming, because I realized that one of my key to fame and one of my strengths in this industry would be how well I retain the brand.
Yes,
because we don't have intellectual property in Cameroon.
Yes.
Anybody can kick you out and boot you out.
Yep.
And if I tell you that my success today is because no one has been able to replace me.
No, but amazing credit, kudos to you for sticking it out all the way, especially when you acquired 10 acres in Bamenda and then suddenly the civil war starts, you have to pack and go. And now you're moving to Douala. So did you have to acquire new land in Douala? Or do you say, okay, I'm only going to work with franchisees who come and I train them on my method? You're becoming the McDonald's of modern food crop production in Cameroon. So how did that happen when you got to Douala? Because
my brother, let me reveal something to you. If I have 500 greenhouse farms today, the one that I own that is in my name that I own is one.
Wow, wow,
Okay.
wow, wow, wow. Of course, I'm
And
sure Mr. Ronald McDonald doesn't have to own all the restaurants if he has already franchised and given the technology and the know-how
no,
to people. If you
see,
give them the know-how,
I
why do you
learned
have to own all of that?
I learned a lot from Ray Kroc from McDonald's.
Yes.
He owns only one unit.
Yeah. Give the rest to the
Then he
people. Give
realized
them the
that if I
method.
want to own all these units, I want to control them, I want to do it, I will not cope. So I told myself, like the land I bought, I have land in Bengui that I had to abandon. I said, how much more lands can I be buying like this and abandoning? Why not go to people who have lands that are not using it? That was all. So I just went into, at that time, I mean, you understand, sharing would become a business model. Airbnb came up.
Sure. Yes.
Twitter was up. Facebook was up.
Yes.
Uber was up.
Yes.
Lyft was up. All these
Yes.
guys. And I'm like,
Yes.
why are we trying to do something different?
Mm.
So my idea now was, okay, you know what? Now I have the market. I would brand myself as a corporate farmer.
Yeah.
I can work with the supermarkets and I can sell my product. But I will allow these guys to do the farm, and I would take out the middleman.
Yes.
And I'll represent all the farmers because I can speak for the farmers.
Fantastic.
That was the whole idea.
Okay.
So yeah,
that's an amazing idea.
Yeah, the franchise model was that you have your land, you invest on the land, I bring people who work on the land, and I guarantee to buy back all the produce. That was it.
Wait. Okay, hold on. That's a different model now. So you got your land. I'm not taking your land away from you, but I'll bring the hands, the people that have the know-how to grow it. They grow it on your land. So do you share the produce, or if you're buying from them, why are you buying? Explain a little bit that.
Yeah. So basically, you have land. You are in America now. You have land in the village. I tell you that, my brother, instead of you leaving that land and litigations and whatever people are intruding into it, why don't you invest, $1,000 on that land? And that $1,000, I tell you, okay, if you put $1,000 on that land, we build a greenhouse, you spend another $500 to run operations, that is 1,500. I guarantee that everything that you harvest from that land, I would have a market for it.
Wow.
Because I realized that there was no problem with production. The problem was with the market.
I see. But when you harvest, do you pay them off for the 1,500 that they invested, or do you pay off for the crops?
I pay off for the crops. So I would just tell them, okay, I would buy your crops at 100 francs per kilogram.
I see.
You understand?
I
so
see.
Everything that is harvested there, I buy it. And this was now the first method now of us being able to digitalize or itemize agriculture. Up until me, there was no way, because look at, when you go to the supermarket, you buy things in kilograms. But when the supermarket buys from the farmer, they buy in bags. You understand?
Yes.
No two bags of tomatoes have the same weight. Like the kinja, like you call it.
Yeah.
There are no two baskets of tomatoes that have the same weight.
Yeah.
So when the supermarket goes to them, they buy in that kinja. But when they sell in kilograms.
Yes.
So I am the first person that sells to supermarkets in kilograms.
I see. Let
so
the weight justify.
That model.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, even the farmer now understands that this is the value of your crop. You see, now I can tell you that invest 1 million francs CFA on your farm, you can make 1 million francs, after 2 months, after this, and after 10 years, like you can do that. Because up unto me, nobody could make a business plan in agriculture. Everything was just fake.
You could not quantify it well. You could not, it was impossible.
You could never quantify it.
That means you still have a good control of what grows, because you have a reservoir of guys that you've trained on how to water, on how to build, and then do the harvest. So you should be having tons and tons of guys that are working for you in terms of production. Is that what you mean?
We have today, Greenhouse Ventures has several things, and I will just share that with you. We have a training academy where we train all these persons. We have a construction company where that constructs all the greenhouses. We have a production unit.
Oh my God! And where are they based? Where's the training academy based? Where is the construction company?
All our farms are training sites. All our farms are training sites.
Okay, so it's on-site training.
It's on-site training. I did our training schools like the way you did. We have the driving schools.
Yes.
So you can be anywhere. You go to a farm and you can learn from there. We've recently opened up a transformation unit where we transform all the things we dehydrate, we transform, we package, you know, extend shelf life that we can send to put to markets.
So that's post-production or
post-production.
Post harvest. Okay, wow.
Post-harvest management.
So the nucleus is now Douala. It's no longer Bamenda. It's no longer Bengui. And out of Douala now, you have like 500 greenhouses around the country. In say, if I go to Boya, if I go to Limbe, if I go to name some of the cities where you have a strong hub of people that are fully invested into the concept of greenhousing in Cameroon and producing from there and selling to you.
Let me tell you, we still have some few houses in Bamenda. We have many more houses in the western region, from Bafang, Bangante, Baham, Chang, Banjul, everywhere.
Yeah.
We have some greenhouses in the Mungo, Kongsamba, Melong. We have greenhouses as you start coming into Banga. We have greenhouses as you start to come into Douala, Suza, Bombari, in Bonaberi. We have everywhere. We have even in town in Lokbeso. We've even built in Bonapreso at the American school in Bonapreso. Going out of Douala, Dibamba, in Edeya, in Kribi, in Puma, getting into Yaoundé, Nomayos, all the way to Nkwabang, all the way to Ntui, Bachenga, go all the way to now we have bigger presence in the north, in the Adamawa, in Garoua.
Because Garoua, there's no it's a desert, so you're able to use this technology which was harnessed in a desert environment in Israel and Middle East, and in desert area like Garoua, they'll be like so grateful to you for bringing this to them. So talk to us about extending this to the desert part of North Cameroon.
You know, it's yes, I don't even see it as a desert part. I see it as a side of a lot of opportunities. I'm actually by this time next year, I will have more houses in the north of Cameroon than anywhere in Cameroon combined.
Wow.
Because now the weather in up north is actually more preferable than what we have here, because it's less humidity, a higher altitude, flat land, availability of human resource.
Yes.
Everything. And then now there is, Nigerian market, there's a Chad, there's Central Africa.
Yes.
And now we have airlines that run, the north. We have airlines 7 days a week from Garoua, Gaoundé to Douala, Yaoundé, everywhere. So it's
so is it more airline transportation now, or is it more terminus or the rail that used to be the main thing?
It depends on the quantity. It depends on the client. It depends on who is paying. Because the client, somebody has to pay the cost. I can supply produce from Garoua to Yaoundé, going to the supermarket. Going to the market in Bastos in Yaoundé, it's okay. And they need it urgently. So things like that. But only in Gaoundé alone, I have a good market there for all the expatriates that would be living from there to come to Douala and Yaoundé every weekend to buy food. I supply them directly.
Wow, this is incredible.
I supply. I work with the military. The military, we supply. We provide food. We are looking out to get into the refugee camps. We are looking. I mean, anywhere where everybody eats. Everybody is my customer.
Everyone needs something to eat. And now, when you go to the northern region, still using the franchise model, whereby the owners or the people who own the land, they come to you, or you go out there canvassing for them. And another question is, when you get it planted, it gets to go between the first year and the second year. You still buy the produce, so you're still in touch with all the farmers. But do they still own the land? Do they still own the property? So you're just getting the cultivation and the crops. Is that what it's from?
Yeah. So basically, what I do is that I'm creating businesses. So if you work with me, for example, we would set up greenhouses on your land. They're your greenhouses. It is your land. Even the produce are your produce. And I actually want to train people to sell their produce. So I have a greenhouse, like when we're doing the stadium in Douala, the Japoma Stadium.
Yeah.
I rented land there next to the stadium because it was a new environment. I love new areas because every new locality doesn't have a market.
Yeah.
So I love those new localities where I can set up
Okay.
a greenhouse farm, and then I
Yeah.
can target those houses that are coming there. I know every new locality,
Mhm.
you always have the big guys coming there. They build big houses, fence, and
Yeah.
everything. They
Yeah.
don't have food.
Yes.
So
Oh my God.
I set up a greenhouse specifically for them. So
To
by the
serve
time,
them.
so I will give you an example like in Japoma, when we were building their houses, I was building a farm. And someone really come and ask me that, why am I wasting this land? That they sell a square meter of land here for 35,000, and I will take and I'll build a chicken house. And
Yeah.
he's accusing me that, oh, the thing will smell here. They don't need to have a chicken farm next to them, this and that. And I'm laughing, you know. You just have to laugh. You never have to argue with these people. Just
Yeah.
laugh.
They don't know where you're coming from or where you're going to.
Exactly.
You're going to be helping them.
Until when he started seeing me, I come to his door and I say, hey, we are going to be having a farm here. We grow lettuce, we grow cucumbers, we grow tomatoes, we grow cabbages, we grow strawberries. It's like, oh, really? I said, yes. And I said, just give me your weekly demands so that I can supply to you directly. You don't have to go to any place. The man, like, are you serious? That's it. So we created a scenario where people leave work, they stop at the farm, they harvest, and then they go home.
Wow.
It was perfect.
That is crazy. Now, from what I'm hearing now, I now understand why you were able to take operations to several countries. So, besides Cameroon, are you still active in some other neighboring countries? Or the
Yes,
evolution
I
of
mean,
it now, it's gotten to full maturity now. In fact,
yes, I mean, I have built in Nigeria, I have built in Ivory Coast. We started operations in Rwanda, but I decided to come back to Cameroon because I think Cameroon has a lot of opportunity, and I want to have a very strong hold in Cameroon, very strong.
Okay.
I want to inundate Cameroon with greenhouses the same way you have cars.
That is
I
amazing.
want to make Cameroon food sufficient in every way possible.
Thank you.
I felt, yes, 2-3 years ago, I started going out of country, but I realized that I might be spreading out too thin. I will stay in Cameroon, focus in Cameroon, and build the strongest hold of greenhouse farming in Africa, here in Cameroon.
Okay. What about the geopolitics? Because one of the reasons why some people are afraid of moving home, although I'm increasingly seeing the real fire eaters like you who go and do it. What about the geopolitics of the place? There's always the sentiment, oh my goodness, the government will come after you, taxation and so on. But you chose the right field. Agriculture doesn't get taxed that much. So what do the authorities say about your presence, especially when you start to grow at that level? They start to keep an eye on you. So what is geopolitics in place and how are you managing it?
You know, I have built my business based on sharing value. And that is what sticks out every time. And anything I do is, how do I share value with you? You and I on call right now is value shared.
Yes, sir.
If I don't feel that I'm gaining from you, or you don't feel that you're gaining from me, you and I will not be talking. So I would give you a little scenario to let you know how I get around things, because you have an audience, and I want that you use me to be able to share with your audience and debunk some of these things that people have in mind.
Thank you.
Because
Thank you.
everybody
Thank
complains.
You. Say that again. Say that again. That is so important.
Yes.
I want people to know that it's possible to be done, because
Mr.
Roland Pomondam has done it and is generous enough to say, guys, I'm not even hiding away my secret. I want to spill the beans. Tell us, how are you able to manage all of those tricky geopolitics of a complex situation like Cameroon?
Let me tell you how I do it. So if I need to visit a minister, if I need something from a minister, for example, I go to the minister, I request an audience. I realize that when you want to see a minister or even the president and you're going through people, you kill the notion of what you're coming there for. I decided that I will go to the minister's office myself or request audience, and I will say I want to see the minister. He is in the office to meet me. That I learned. So when I request an audience with a minister, the day I am going, I don't go with, most people want to go see a minister, they carry little bags, envelopes, and blah, blah. I go with my produce from the farm.
Yes.
Listen to it very well.
Okay.
So when I enter the minister's office,
you gotta come. I'm a farmer, so I'm bringing something for you to also see if you still got your stomach. Is your stomach still working, Mr. Minister?
Exactly. So when I give a minister bell peppers, you know, normally these are the things that the minister eats. You understand?
Yeah.
And these are the things that normally they have been importing. I am the first person to start growing bell peppers in Cameroon, and today they no longer import bell peppers
in the whole country.
In the whole country.
That's crazy.
Because I went to the minister and I told the minister that, listen, I am growing these things under the same conditions that these guys from abroad they bring it here. If you increase the taxes of importation, and then I would be able to meet local demand. He asked me, "Are you sure?" I said, "Let's give it a try." And today, the prices of bell peppers that I told you from 13,900 today is 3,200 per kilogram.
Wait a minute. So it's dropped more than 60 to 70%.
It is dropped.
That is insane.
You understand? So let me tell you how I go to see a minister.
Okay, brother, I need to blast my vuvuzela here in honor of you dropping the prices of food crops in Africa, when I know that when Ukraine war started, the food prices were going up. So I need to blast it. I know it sounds a bit weird, but I want to scare everyone who is not awake to sit up and listen. You have dropped the price of bell peppers in Cameroon, and they no longer import them from crazy who knows where, maybe Greece or Holland and all of that, because of your tenacity to go straight to the minister and say, "Mr. Minister, we can afford to produce this locally and not bring this from overseas." And tell us more about your conversations with those authorities, because some people have said that they had to please.
No. They are the easiest people to get with, especially if you understand their objective. You see, if I am coming to your office, I need to know who you are. I need to know what is your mandate being in office. You get me? And I'm not coming there to beg you for this. I am
any favors.
To tell you how I can give you value and how you can give me value. It's as simple as that. It's just that some of us here, we take it that, oh, the minister, the government, you go there, you are begging them, you want them to sign fraudulent stuff, and then they don't want it. And then when you step out, you have this middleman who can tell you, okay, bring me an envelope and I will push it, that it should happen. And that is what creates all of this. Every minister in this country is accountable, even the prime minister. You understand? It's just that we don't give them reasons for them to remain accountable. Believe me, very sure about it.
I've also heard that from Professor Victor Barika. He said to me, the environment is green. Cameroon is good for business. He said he didn't shy away. He said, "Angop, it is good. You better go do something." And look at how ICT University is doing. So you're proving the concept even further. Thank you. Keep going.
Victor is our brother, so him and I will work very well on that. So when I get to the minister's office, I come with my basket of bell peppers. Listen very carefully. So I tell him that, "Excellent, this is what I brought for you." He doesn't know bell peppers. He doesn't care. I will give it to him. He will give it to his driver. The driver goes and puts in the car. But inside that bell pepper bag, I put my business card into it. Okay? I will talk business with the minister and he will finish. Anything can happen. I go, no problem. But those bell peppers would be delivered to his wife. And his wife would be very pleased. Like, wow, bell peppers in Cameroon? How come? And then she sees a number inside. She will take that number and she will call. "Hey, my son, I got those bell peppers. Thank you very much."
That is amazing.
"Thank you so much." Oh, then I will say, "Mama, no problem. I can deliver if you love, if you need." And that was how business always goes.
Can send my staff to you. Yeah.
Got it. Now, the next time when I need something from the minister, I call Mama. I say, "Mama."
Okay,
I need some assistance.
Would that not be crossing the ethical line? Like, oh, you okay, peddling influence? No. Would that cross the ethical lines?
Let me tell you something. Obama made a better president because of Michelle Obama.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
You have to understand the role that they have to play. When I tell Mama that I need some assistance like this, the minister, that way the minister retains. So when minister goes, so when these guys are in the office, their minds are like that. They don't pay attention to certain things. Mama will say, "Okay, you know what, my son, come home on Saturday. Papa will be home. Come and explain to him when his head is more calm. and you talk to him, he will listen to you. That's all.
Okay.
When I go now and I meet him at home and I explain to him that this is what I'm working on, these are the challenges, then all my ministers, they have farms. He will say, my son, why not? Let's just go to the farm and see the farm. And that was how they come. So you build a value-based relationship with them.
Wow.
You understand?
Wow.
I am not going there to ask them to give me a
favors.
contract. No, that was how you do it.
You don't have time for that. You're busy helping the next city to build their own greenhouses. So I got to know that you have a foothold in Betua, you got a foothold in Gaoundé, which I found Gaoundé to be very challenging because, of course, it's semi-desert. But again, I may be wrong. And foothold in almost all these areas. Which of the cities in Cameroon has been the most receptive to greenhouse technologies and greenhouse ventures?
I mean, all of them, all of them. You know, when I was going up to the north, I was surprised that the guys in the north would actually accept us, but they are amazed. It's like
they are perhaps the nicest people. If you don't know that, I mean, I've always felt they're the nicest humans in the whole republic. So
my brother,
yeah,
I am just
forget
telling
about
you that
all the prejudices. They are probably the nicest people.
No, see, that's what I'm telling you, that this time next year we're gonna have more greenhouses in the north than anywhere in Cameroon combined.
Wow.
That's what I'm telling you, that sometimes when you don't travel, you will not know things.
Yes.
I have many people, when I start telling them about north, you know, when I started going up north, I didn't know that they even had that much grassland. You know, there were so many things that I got surprised once I got to the north.
Okay.
You understand? So
yes,
believe me, north is actually one of it would grow faster than any place. Because there are people with a monoculture. There are people that you can easily get them to follow something that
if you reach one, you can reach many. They are egalitarian cultures. They sit together. They go to the mosque together. They pray together at the mosque. They trust each other more, as opposed to a fragmented South, which is crazy. So who is an average holder in the north? Is it a Lamido? Is it a regular business guy? Is it a guy farmer? Or who's a regular franchisee in the northern part of
in the north, I have more of big farms. So what I did in the north is we're actually launching a project. It's interesting. Tomorrow, I would actually announce it on my Facebook wall. I want to build 500 greenhouse farms in Garoua.
Wow, 500 greenhouse farms.
Yes, and it's a model that I want to. So in the north, what I want to do there is what I call union farming. It's a model I learned in Israel. It's a model I learned in Holland. It's a model I learned in Mexico. And because we understand that the cost of a greenhouse is high, why not people come together, contribute towards getting a greenhouse, and then we share the proceeds.
Yep.
Because on one side now,
is it like a kibbutz? Is it like a kibbutz? They call it in Israel. Am I wrong?
Exactly. That's exactly how we're looking at it. It's that same model that I'm looking to develop, because I realize that now I'm getting so solicited. I cannot. It's difficult now to be everywhere.
To meet
right now we have markets. I can be proud to say that because we have worked for it. I have exclusivity in 4 of the main supermarkets in Cameroon, and I can get all of them because my business model, nobody comes close to it. So I've just realized that I have to work now to produce because my demand is going higher and higher. Like every day, I am having more demand.
Which are some of these supermarkets that you currently serve in Cameroon?
Spar, I supply all of Spar in Cameroon. Casino, I supply everything in Casino. Super U, I supply everything in Super U. There's a new supermarket, Domino's. I am the main person in Domino's. So
for all vegetables, or mostly those that you produce from your greenhouses.
All fruits and vegetables. Wow. Even things that I don't produce, because I work now with other farmers who produce other things that I can supply.
Okay, so you serve the role of getting these items to these supermarkets, and you are the face of the farmer, the modern farmer in Cameroon, as you had indicated earlier, part of your vision. I even saw something on your wall talking about sorghum, and that this can change the face of consumption in Cameroon. I don't know, are we consuming tea? Are we consuming alcohol? Are we consuming? Tell me about sorghum, because I know sorghum is always popular in the northern region with Islamic population in Cameroon. What is that all
Well,
about?
since you asked of it, yes, today I am the main person supplying the breweries companies in Cameroon with their raw material, which is sorghum.
No kidding.
And
And that is that from your
yeah,
northern farms or from all over the place?
no, just from the northern farms. It's a new contract that I just closed up.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's on the same model like
That is
it's the same
incredible,
model
my
like
brother.
the supermarkets,
Yes.
because we realize that sorghum production in Cameroon is very minimal.
Mm-hmm.
So my idea going in there was to increase the production, so that it can enable people to have enough sorghum. We have enough land, we have human resource, we have labor. The only problem is
And
production.
sorghum, is it like millet? Is it? I don't know how it looks like. So it
It's like
also
millet.
is capable of growing in a greenhouse. That's what you're saying.
No. It's outdoors. You see my
Oh,
background right now. That's sorghum behind me.
okay. So it's not within a greenhouse. It's outdoors. It's
No.
wild,
It's
like millet.
outdoors. Outdoors.
Okay. So you still be able to use some of your technology in doing that, even though it's not greenhouse per se.
Yeah. No, it's not greenhouse, but I am looking to get into mechanized farming now with sorghum, because this is industrial, large scale. We are looking to develop on thousands and thousands of hectares. Currently, the sorghum production in Cameroon is about 1.2 tons per hectare. My goal is to get to about 5 tons per hectare, to really increase the production. And sorghum is used for a lot of things. They eat, they feed animals, they make liquor with it, they make their cereals and everything. It's a staple meal in all these countries. So we are doing
Okay.
that. So my goal now, the project of 500 greenhouses in the north is a project that is expanding 7 countries, which are the Sahel countries. It's called the Sahel Greenhouse Project, because I realize that those Sahel countries, they don't have vegetable in their diet. So I
Yes.
want to get up to the north now, produce a lot of the vegetables, and now they can have not only the grains but vegetables. So produce enough grains as well, so that we also in the south can be getting, the
That is
grains, and then those
fantastic.
guys. So yeah,
And
we're just making
since
it happen, brother.
and since the culture is relatively similar, you'll be able to easily export it maybe to Chad, maybe to Niger,
That
maybe to
all
all the
of them.
Sahel countries. And
Exactly.
now
Exactly.
we are talking. So, Mr. Pomona, given all what you've done, would you say that the decision to say, I'm done with rush hour in the United States, I'm done with sitting around places where there's Wi-Fi everywhere. I want to go where there's no Wi-Fi, but there's plenty of safety. There's plenty to do with my hands. Would you say it was a wise decision to make? And how is that decision changing not only your family, but the families of many, many other families that are looking up to you for ideas and inspiration?
Wise is, I would not even know if it is wise, but I think it is the best decision that I made in life.
Yes, sir.
I live a life of purpose. I am happy with my life, no matter what the challenges can be. You understand? But I am
Yes.
happy what I do every day.
Yes.
I am happy. There are many people today who have moved back to Cameroon because of me. Many.
No
There
kidding.
are many
No.
people who have gotten into agriculture because of me. There are many people who now have hope in Cameroon or Africa or in agriculture because of me. I can tell you that every person in my network, like my close friends, they are looking to do something in Cameroon, either invest something, because they have realized that life is not bad here. I live here. I don't even like to go to the US. When I go to the US, it's like I don't even sleep. I rush. I am rushing in and out.
I can
I
imagine.
come to the US.
Which is safer, Cameroon or US? Tell me, because I've had arguments with my friends and some of them don't understand, or even Americans.
Let,
Which is
let,
safer,
let, let,
Africa or? I hope our Wi-Fi is not slowing down here. Are you there? Hello, Mr. Roland Fomundam, are you there? Okay, I can hear you coming back. Okay, thank you. I was asking which is safer, Africa or America? And you can speak to it because you've lived both of them and you know both of them inside out.
Yes, no, like I was saying, people don't like when I say this, but I'm always very vocal that Cameroon, I feel safer in Cameroon than in America. I feel I am more confident about my kids being in Cameroon than in America. And I'll tell you be clean and clear. I can control, I have some aspect of control over what can happen. You know, I have some expectations about what can go wrong.
Yes.
I mean, when I sit here and you watch, I think just today there's a shooting at a school in the US.
Yes.
And these things happen every day in the US, every day. We don't even see it on the news.
Yes.
You know, in America, you know where it's safe. In a bank, at the presidency, in a church, in school, in anywhere. You understand? At least in Cameroon, you know, there is nobody who walk in a church and shoot a gun. Nobody. It doesn't happen. Nobody who walks nobody would walk in a shopping center and shoot it. Nobody stands on a highway and is shooting a gun during the day. No. So you know
they're probably busy doing something.
They're trying to, they have no problems. They're trying to get their food to eat.
Trying to get some food, trying to cultivate something, or maybe trying to send an application to come and work for Greenhouse Ventures. But tell me, for those Africans who are in diaspora, who are now beginning to have the reawakening about the power of diaspora and home working together, and some of them want to come back, they're afraid, they're ashamed. Maybe I'm not bringing much. Maybe people are going to laugh at me that I've been out there for so long, I didn't bring much. What message do you have for them? Because this message is very, very important. Some people want to come back, but they're afraid.
No, you see, one of the things that made me to move home was so that I want to become a bridge.
Okay.
I want to be the bridge between the diaspora and the continent. You understand? Because you see, when we are all abroad, we have the same complaint. Oh, I sent money to home. This man didn't. I bailed it. Like we had all those complaints. You see it everywhere.
Yes.
So that was one thing. My thing was, okay, at that time, you know, we were all young. And I said, 10, 20 years from now, all my classmates, my age mates will make money. And they would want to move home. Who is a better person for them to work with than someone like me who's been there with them and now at home?
Amazing. The trust factor is much, much, much stronger.
Which is why you see the way I work. If you look at my Facebook profile, you see the way I publish information. Sometimes I say things that are sensitive, and people are like, "Why do you say that? These are business secrets. Why do you do that?" And that takes to the second point. My second point is that I have always wanted to build a legacy and a point of reference because it is missing. Tell me which youth today in Cameroon can be a reference for tomorrow.
Thank you.
In Cameroon, tell me anyone.
Thank you.
Back our parents, of course, you can still name people like Pa Nanga, the Pa Kilo, the Pa Guarantee, the, you know, those people. You know, the Foto, the Kaji.
Yeah.
Who can you name of in our generation? You see that, you realize that it is missing.
Absolutely so true. I never thought about
that. Is missing. If that is missing, then our kids themselves are lost, which is why most of us, our kids, don't even want to come back home because there is no point of reference. They rather have a reference with some Michael Jordan or LeBron James or Lionel Messi they want to relate with. That has nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
You get me? So to me, those things are very important. And there's some analogy I always made to people. I said, Cameroon, we are 27 million people. In America, we are 350 million. Where do you have advantage to become the best? Is it 1 in 27 million or 1 in 300?
That is true.
So when you think about that, they realize that you have more room here in Cameroon. And then when you look at the way the world is going today, the Black Americans, they are trying to come and find their DNA and get their feet into Africa to say they are African. We are actually losing our identity to go there. We get lost in those people. You can never become an American.
Absolutely true.
My brother, you can be African, you can American, African, American, but you can never be an American, but you can be an African.
Yes. And
you need that identity, because once you lose that identity, your generation is lost.
There you go.
I already know generations that are lost, that could not even come back again to it.
Now, okay, I know this conversation is probably one of the best I've had with any of our guests in this is like the 45th episode. I am absolutely delighted that we could go on, but I don't want to abuse time. I know it's getting late there. I want us to start wrapping up here. Where do you see greenhouse ventures in Cameroon, in Africa, in the next 5 to 10 years? And then after that, we'll go into the last segment, which is just short question, short answer. Where do you see yourself and this phenomenal work that you've done in the next 5 to 10 years?
No, in the next 5 to 10 years, we are becoming the largest food aggregator in the country. We are going to have greenhouses. We just signed a partnership with a Turkish company to supply us with amount of greenhouses. So in the next 5 years, you will see large greenhouse farms the way you see them in other parts of the world.
I love those I saw in Turkey, especially in the countryside. There are countless. So you will be doing those large scale.
That's me right there. Those are the things that we are bringing into Cameroon. So I want to make sure Cameroon is food sufficient from every part. You know, they say Cameroon is Africa in miniature. Food is what is going to define all of that. And we'll make it happen. So 5-10 years, we should already be able to achieve that. At the rate at which we are growing at the moment, we are growing too fast for ourselves. I mean, I cannot tell you how fast we are growing, but it is too fast. Sometimes that people, if you and I talk today, the next time you and I will talk, you would think that I'm making something up, because you have to say, but this man, we just spoke yesterday and this was what it was, and today this is what it is. But that's how fast, because we are in an industry where there's nobody.
Yes. And
it's only us.
It is also a testament to your hard work. And I absolutely salute I doff my hat to you. So
thank you.
For those in diaspora, you're telling them, feel free to come back. Do not be afraid. It's going to be challenging, but you can make it. Give your last word to the people in diaspora, then we'll do the last short question, short answer.
No, for my people in diaspora, you know, you need somebody. You know, sometimes the problem with us is that ego, pride, we die a lot in shame. You know, I am on Facebook. You can contact me and ask me a question. You can get to me, we can talk. We can look to do things together. But sometimes somebody, you know, doesn't want to feel like, oh, I don't want to go down, you know, all myself down to Roland Forman to ask him a question on this. You know, there's just that.
You have earned it.
I'm a very busy guy, of course. I'm very busy, but I make time for things that are sensible. Yes, if you come to me, you know, don't come to me and, you know, and that, let me just clarify that on here. You know, sometimes people come to me, of course, on Facebook, which I am more frequent, and then you want to tell me something, you start, hi, Mr. Roland. And I say, hi. How are you? You want me to say, fine. How is Cameroon? How is this thing? I don't know how to answer that. Yeah, you understand? So many times, just tell me, Roland, my name is this. I watched your video on Story Warrior. I'm moving to Cameroon. This. What can I do? Tell me everything. It's no secret. Somebody will be feeling that, oh, for them to tell me that they want to start a 20 hectares farm, it's some business secret. Then they'll start telling that, please sign an NDA before I can tell you this. And I'm really like, then somebody will come to me and say, Roland, tell me more about yourself before. I'm like, are you really serious? you get me? So you have things like that. So sometimes the approach, people don't even have it. You know, like, come on, you know, don't come to me and I don't beg anybody right now. I'm too busy to even think that I can beg so anybody for something. I think that I have value. Come to me. Let's think of how we add value. Tell me that, hey, Roland, I love what you're doing. I saw that you're doing greenhouses. I have a technology that can maybe do A, B, C, D. I will pay attention to it. You understand? Oh, I realized
collaboration. Yeah.
Exactly. I realized that, okay, you don't yet have farms in Betwa. I have some land there. I can put some money. We can build this in. Like right now, I just got a contract to supply Spa in Betwa. I have no farm in Betwa. And I just put out a notification on Facebook that, hey, listen, anybody in Betwa who is producing crops, In 2 weeks, I need to start supplying, and I need weekly supplies. Who is there? Get to me. You know, and that's how I do business. So somebody will say, but this thing cannot be true. Why is this man sharing all these details? I'm like, why do you keep them? The graveyard in Africa today is full of so many opportunities and ideas, and people have still not learned it.
Yeah.
So sometimes when I can be very vocal about it, they're like, oh no, maybe he's. No, I don't even have time. I don't even have time to think that I can be telling something that I don't need to tell you.
Because
you see what I'm saying? So
I see what you're saying, because if your Israeli partners are not also, if they were not upfront and they share the technology with you, you know, you still probably, you know, waffling your way around the other areas. But they were generous, they were straightforward, and now you're busy, you're helping other people. No, I totally get that now.
Of
so
course.
This last part is it's a quick question, quick answer. What is the best book you've read?
I'm sorry to say that the last time I read a full book was, I think, in Poma when I Punuma.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. So that's
yeah,
the best book for you as an innovator, especially because what you're doing is legendary.
Yeah, no, the truth is that, and that is one thing I don't know how to put it, but I've never read a full book. If I ever read a book, was because I wanted to read and write an exam that I had to write. But I have never read a novel. I have never read. I would probably watch somebody's biography, learn a few things, but I don't have the time. Like, I lose that attention to read. I think for me, let me tell you something. I've realized that sometimes when you read a lot, it actually confuses you, because you're trying to apply almost everything that you read in this book to this scenario. You understand? For me, there is no book I can tell you reference to that is because I read this book that I did this. People's stories inspire me.
Yeah,
I can get a summary of their stories, and that inspires me. For me, what I do in Cameroon, I actually want to write it from an original standpoint.
I can't wait for that. I can't wait for you to write that book. In fact, I want to be working with you on that book, because that book, there will be many people that will benefit from it, not only from Cameroon, but from what I'm seeing, a lot from diaspora. So let's talk about that.
It's coming. I have 3 books that I'm actually putting content simultaneously right now.
There you go.
So if you and I need assistance, of course.
Yes.
Because you see, you and I can talk for the next 5 hours. I want to share the stories.
Absolutely.
I want people to hear it originally.
I want us to talk about that.
I want people to make decisions based on this, because what I do, what I say, you know, like you notice, I've been a lecturer at a university.
Yes.
And that's just a side point. I've been a lecturer at a university, and I used to teach innovation and entrepreneurship. But then I realized that I am teaching something that it is difficult for people to take and go and practice. Almost 99% of teachers of entrepreneurship in Cameroon have never started a business or even run a business. Have never paid an employee, even their house girl at home, never.
You
know, but they want to read a book written by, you know, Watkins, who is based in Minnesota, to tell you about how you operate a business in Bamenda. No,
doesn't work.
I want to write an entrepreneurship book about doing business in Cameroon, on how I did business in Cameroon.
Thank you.
It is local adapted.
That is the one.
That is what I want to do.
That's the one that I know people in diaspora will be dying to read it, because it is not hearsay, it's not theoretical, it's practical. It's something that someone has done it, and telling those stories, that's certainly where I want us to go next. Is there any innovator you admire in, say, around the world, innovator that you admire?
Yes. Yes. I mean, for me, I have admired people who have created solutions that have changed the world, you know, and not people of our today times. That's sad, but I'm looking at the scientists of back then, those that we read of, because I look at when you look at, you know, person who discovered electricity, for example.
Faraday,
all these basic things that we
Nikola
use today.
Tesla, all those guys, yes, those
Tesla,
people,
you know, all those people. When you read about their stories, that is what moves me. That is the level that I believe
very inspiring.
Africa, that is the level that Africa is at the moment.
Thank you.
You understand? Africa is at that discovery level, And until we get ourselves in the mindset of the people at that time, we cannot make, we are not doing anything. You understand? So because we Africa is still in still going through the agricultural development. We have not even passed that stage in civilization.
Far from it.
You get it? So until we achieve at that, the thing is that we are now, you see, it's surprising to see Africans, they want to get into AI, they are running after they are running too fast. We need to still go back. They say Africa is 100 years behind.
To the basics.
They say Africa is 100 years behind America, and that is true. So go back to the Henry Ford, go back to the Carnegies, go back to that time when these people were still thinking at that level. That is where I want to be, and those are the people that I still look at right now to say, okay, what is it that we can do? And that is those are the people that I am more or less inspired by.
Thank you. That is very eloquent. I mean, I never heard that one. Let's think back 100 years because that's going to help put us in touch with the local realities in Africa. Okay, I know you're raising your beautiful family in Africa. Where do you go on vacation? Some you have to go on vacation. Okay, would you? I know civil unrest in Cameroon, so Bamenda might be an option, maybe not. If you have to go out of Cameroon, where do you go? Is it Middle East, Israel? Is it
my brother?
Is it North America? Is it Europe? Where do you go with the kids?
No, with the work we do, it's sometimes not very easy. I mean, with my head, I'm trying to look at where I can have an opportunity. So my best places to go are all in Africa.
Thank you.
I feel that Africa still has a lot to explore.
To develop.
I want to travel all 54 countries in Africa first. And that is where I want to spend vacation. I want to develop. I've realized that every country in Africa still needs agriculture. And my goal is that for as long as God allows me to keep walking this earth, I want to implement the models that we have succeeded in Cameroon with in all parts of Africa. So from here to anywhere, that is what I want to do. So I don't know how to go on vacation to sit by the beach and relax. My head cannot be relaxed. I want to go to somewhere where I know that next time I'm coming there, I'm coming to set up a farm.
There you go.
I have to shoot more. I have to shoot more than one bird with the same stone. I don't know how to.
You pick the stone, kill the first bird, capture it, and the next one they say, okay, no, that's absolutely perfect. And I see the philosophical grounding of that. It's very solid. It's very unquestionable because for you to accomplish what you have done, you have to have that kind of philosophical grounding. So you go to the table, there's Achu, there's Ekwang, there's Nangtar, or there's Ngomtar. Which one are you more likely to grab?
My brother, when you call Achu, nothing else, you don't call again. Okay. I think you and I understand that. I'm a Tongaban. I'm going to see
Thank you so much. I give you so much thanks.
After Achu, nothing else is valid. I think we all understand that. I tell people that I can eat Achu for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, for appetizer, for dessert. There's no problems. I don't know. The person who discovered Achu, I think they did something that they understood it.
Do you know they said there's this hilarious piece that even in the good old days, J.N. Poncha, when he goes to the UN, when he goes to UK, he's like, guys, I don't care about what you're putting down that table. He had his Achu in his bag. I don't know if you've heard that story, but it's a hilarious story. And I know if you know the way Achu tastes and the way people are adopting it now in the West. I interviewed a Bamenda lady not too long ago. She said to me, do you know that Achu is trending? You know that fufu is trending? Because all the people that come to his restaurant, they're craving for it. I said, now people are finally beginning to discover the value and the beauty of what lies in our backyard, but we do not know it. So the next time we talk, maybe we'll be talking about, are you beginning to cultivate nang? Are you beginning to cultivate plantains? But again, no pressure on you. You have more than enough on your plate. And I want to thank you so much, brother, for making this time. This has been one of the most fascinating stories I have been able to watch with my own eyes in the last 10 years. Thank
you so very much. Thank you for all you're doing. And, we depend on people like you to share these stories because, like I said, I like that our stories be original. I like that we write our stories. Our stories should not be secondhand.
Yes,
you know, because anytime once it switch hand to the second hand, it is never the same version.
Absolutely.
And I want that those who come after us should learn from the rights, from the wrongs that we did, so that they can right every wrong and make sure that, of course, whatever would be after this, we can be happy that we serve the right purpose while we were here. So thank you so very much. I would be very happy and elated to see that people from here can follow through and can actually make some decisions as to what they can do. But I still stand to the point that home is home.
Yes.
You can never be at home anywhere else. So I want that people should take this message, and then let's find ways to make sure that we can call this place home for our generations now and for those to come after us. Thank you so much again for your time. I know we've actually exhausted again, but I'm very open again. If you have more rooms for me, I would be very happy for us to be on. And hopefully next time I want that maybe you will do it when I'm at the farm, so that people can also see what we are talking about.
That'll be fantastic. Happy. And then when we develop the model for people to come get training, get help from you, then we can roll that out live, because this is bigger than you, it's bigger than me, because the energy that I sense from you, Brother Roland, it is just different. And the energy that I'm beginning to see here, I never saw this 10 years ago. We know people now that have the means, millions of dollars, but they don't know where to go. You know where they're going? And it's okay. Some are going to Cape Verde. There's nothing wrong with that. Some are going to Mauritania. Some are going to Madagascar. And that's okay. But I'm talking about our own brothers who are desperate to go somewhere. And I'm saying to them, we need to talk to you, because you are the one brother that we can trust. If they want to find you online, you know you're very big on Facebook, where else can they find you?
I mean, Facebook is, it's not also easy to manage all these platforms. Facebook is the best, because I'm more frequent on it. But I'm on Facebook and on LinkedIn. Those two are more for me. That is me personally. Of course, my company is on all the platforms, and but I don't respond to them directly. I have my staff that does that. So if you have to reach out to me, just come directly on my Facebook wall or my LinkedIn. It is easier, and we can talk from there.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good evening. I know it's getting late there. Send the love to the family and to all the guys that work for you, because you're coming from a place of love, and I really appreciate it, Ango. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. Ango, abort.